Hi, this is Larry Greenblatt, and welcome to another in my series of CISSP practice questions. And in 2023 here, it's the year of AI really going crazy, and at least in money anyway, and spending it. So I thought it very appropriate. The IC Square has been covering questions on artificial intelligence since I've been teaching it, and that's since 2001. So I'm very grateful to them helping prepare me. So there are basic risks associated with artificial intelligence. And most people I find are focused on one, particularly from Hollywood, the control risk, but the other is bias. So let's take a look at the question now. An organization that processes credit card applications is concerned that their system may be unfairly biased toward or against a group of people. What are the two fundamental types of bias they should focus on? All right, so before we go over the answers, let's take a look at kind of what's going on here. So let's remember where we are and what AI promises. The rewards are the anybody doing CISP, you know that some of your biggest problems, your own people not doing malicious stuff, just not doing what they should be doing. They take dangerous shortcuts, and I like to talk about the dishwasher who doesn't like washing dishes. He's really a musician who just has to take that job. So, and that's the same thing with, nobody likes patching servers and nobody likes whatever changing passwords. But if you don't do it, it's not safe. So AI helps automate a lot of these operational issues, and many other scientists will talk about the 3Ds. It's the dirty jobs. I just don't want to do it because I'd rather have something else clean my clothing. Really, the washing machine could be called an AI. It's dull. It's just that's the part. I don't feel like it. It's just so boring and then dangerous. So AIs can help reduce a lot of our risks and that they're appropriate to us throughout society. But a lot of people are like, well, what is going to happen when they take over our jobs and humans get their meaning from their jobs? Nobody gets their meaning from washing dishes. I don't believe that happens. I believe toll booth operators are going to be upset because they got their meaning of life from how to operate a toll booth. No, as long as they're cared for, right? So if you fire somebody, and we look at like UBI or some way to compensate people. And with that, people have more time to pursue what they call the two C's, and that's the creative and compassion-based jobs. And looking at Maslow's hierarchy of needs here, the AIs, robotics, they're there for the lower level stuff. Now, the fundamental risks that we see again are control and bias. And I don't want to redo Nick Bostrom's work. Nick Bostrom in his book Superintelligence goes over these very well. And control is the one that you typically see the Terminator. They got so powerful, we couldn't control them. One author said it's like having a car for which you can't apply brakes. So when it goes off on its own, you can't stop it. I yield that we're probably not going to win that battle. So I'm hoping that the AIs, when they're going to be like genies, that we can't control them anymore. But the bigger risk is why would they want to hurt us or hurt some people and not whatever? So it's bias. And bias errors come in two types. So there was a very famous case in say Amazon's hiring AI was not hiring women and excluded a few other groups, and it was basically because of the data set. Oh, they didn't have enough sample. When you're dealing with quantitative data, I don't need more than one opinion. So how many strings are on a guitar? Typically, there are six. I don't need your opinion. But what's the best guitar? When's a good time to play? Do you like playing? Those are subjective questions. And to for an AI to figure that out, they need more opinions. The data set has to be increased. So that's the way to get it. And I'd like to say it, let's not just get humans' opinions. Let's get opinions from all over nature. Um, but there's a bigger problem, perhaps. I think it's far worse, and that's the algorithm itself. So if the algorithm is biased toward whatever people from the northern hemisphere versus the southern hemisphere, even if it had just as many, examples of data, now we have a bigger problem. The algorithm is wrong. So I'd like to see a scanner by myself personally to see could we have whatever a representative sample of 8 billion people to test out whatever. an application and see if this application, say a credit application, is it heavily biased for something, for some reason? And is it because of the data set? So in my scanner, I would have, at 8 billion. So it's not the data set, and you can identify algorithmic, things. So, and it's in crazy years. So if you've been playing, and for set in my classes, we've been working with Bard and OpenAI, ChatGPT, and for CISSP, you need to know that we started off with very basic, like I would work with optical character recognition system. You learn the rules of whatever a letter A looks like, and with an unlimited set of data, if I only had whatever a carrier 10 bold, it'd do a pretty good job, But when I start adding different font types and sizes, it gets a little tough. Um, but neural networks, we're taught, can learn on their own, and these have been CISSP objectives for 20 plus years, 2 decades. But neural networks, even themselves, these deep learning, they can be supervised. So basically, if I tell you this field is a social security number, then it can start doing analysis or whatever. This field it represents eye color, So that's when you tag your data or something. Unsupervised could just go off on its own. And just learn things. So that's pretty awesome. And that's obviously the most challenge. Now we've had and still have basically, even if it's unsupervised, if you could argue that you have truly unsupervised, they're very narrow. They only know a specific field. They might be good in chess, but not checkers or something like that. But we are moving toward a generalized AI, a term I believe Ben Goertzel from Singularity Net introduced many years ago, AGI, and we're moving quickly. And if you're a Ray Kurzweil guy, you know that he predicted by 2029. That's only a couple more years from now. And then after that, it goes off on its own as the control. But hopefully, we train it right. We get rid of this bias. And one of the things I really love about Ben's work too is this: the people from Singularity Net have a true open source, you can see the source code, decentralized approach to their AI. Now, Zarka is their ChatGPT killer. I don't know that it's expected out until at least a year or so. But when you look at bias, I think it's safe to say that Bard is biased toward Google. Right. And so we got to watch out for these things. So I really think the only way to secure an AI is to do what they're attempting to do at Zark. And hope that happens. So let's go back over the question again. An organization that processes credit card applications is concerned their system may be unfairly biased toward a group of people. What are the two fundamental biases they should focus on? Lifestyle, ethnicity, age, race. These are particular attributes that an application or something, maybe whatever, might collect on people, the different data sets. To test them, you have to use their collection. So they might not even collect whatever age. It depends on the application type, but they all fall under D. Right. So, yeah, all the other methods are just various categories, and it depends on the type of data that they collect. But we really need to see, is it a data set problem, which more data we can train it and fix the problem? If it's an algorithm problem, now we have to reverse engineer or whatever, start over. So, all right, now as we move on, we'll also see people talk about, AI, AGI is thinking like humans. I don't know how that's going to happen. So I like this little cartoon here. I don't know how to create sentience, but I'll keep an open mind there. All right, thank you so much. I hope this was helpful. And if you want to know more, please, thank you so much. Hope to see you in one of my classes. Bye bye.